Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I'm going to be giving my predictions for the Carabao Cup round 3 fixtures. I know what you're thinking, it's round 3 of the Carabao Cup fixtures, who really cares? What's going to be happening? It's probably going to be some dead teams facing each other. It's going to be Brentford versus Nottingham Forest or something like that, but I'm telling you, we actually got some fascinating matchups right now when it comes to round 3. Who would have thought the luck of the draw would be seeing Manchester City, the English champions, versus Chelsea, a repeat of the 29 Carabao Cup final? Who else would be thinking we'd be seeing Aston Villa face Man United? This is Manchester United's chance of revenge of what happened on this weekend when they lost to Aston Villa 3-1. We also got other Premier League matchups like Nottingham Forest versus Spurs. Let's see what's going to be happening there. Can Nottingham Forest pick up a win, get revenge for losing 2-0 earlier on this season? So like I said, we got some fascinating, potentially some great fixtures we're going to be seeing midweek. However, before I go into this video and give my predictions, you know what I'm going to say. Make sure you guys like, comment and hit that big subscribe button right there. And make sure you guys in the comment section give me your predictions. So the first game I'm going to be predicting is Manchester City versus Chelsea. Self-explanatory, two top 6 sides facing off each other. So let's see who's going to win the battle of supremacy. And when it comes to these two sides, it feels like they're in binary opposites when it comes to their form. Man City look in control, they look dominant ever since the loss to Liverpool. They beat Brighton at home quite comfortably. They even beat Fulham with 10 men. They dominated even though Bernardo Silva had to play centre-back and other players had to change around positions. It was quite ridiculous, but this is how dominant, this is how great Manchester City are of a side. They can be a man disadvantage, but their system is so superior. And on the other hand, we got Chelsea, who are finally being found out, losing their last 2 games back to back, and even the victories they have had, they've been quite questionable. It feels like the players right now aren't really understanding what Graham Potter wants from them. It feels like there's too much changing from a back 5 to a back 4, no continuity, which obviously ruins the stability and the rhythm of the side. And that's why Chelsea wasn't even able to register 1 shot on target against Arsenal at Stamford Bridge. That's quite pathetic. So going into this game, it feels quite self-explanatory, doesn't it? It feels quite obvious who's going to be winning, who's going to be victorious, but we can never discount what's going to be happening when it comes to a Carabao Cup fixture. Think about it, in the past, Spurs beat Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium in a Carabao Cup fixture. Arsenal beat Liverpool at Anfield in a Carabao Cup fixture on penalties. So even though there's like a bogey team certain clubs do have in the Premier League, when it comes to Carabao Cup, it all goes out the window, so Chelsea can hang their hat when it comes to this. However, apart from that, I don't really see why there's some sort of sense of optimism going into this game when you're versing the English champions. Yes, Pep Guardiola might change his side around, bringing players like Palmer, bringing the young kid, the 17-year-old right back who scored against Sevilla in his Champions League debut. However, at the end of the day, we know Manchester City have strength in depth. They have players who would be starting for other top 6, top 8 sides. We got Alvarez, obviously, who's been in fine form scoring goals. Mahrez coming into the equation as well. Gundogan, one of the best midfielders in the league. The only reason he doesn't start is because Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva are all better than him. These are all pieces Manchester City can all start alongside the young aspiring talent, which will make them a frightening outfit for Chelsea to face. Erling Haaland is coming back as well since the injury, and we know he's going to want some minutes before the international break because he's not going to be able to play the games since Norway are not in the World Cup. So going into this fixture, all the marks are going towards Manchester City. They're a better team. They're with more confidence. They've been playing with style and swagger, whereas Chelsea look questionable, like I say, and I don't really know how they're going to muster a victory. And I'm going to be predicting a 2-0 victory for the home side. So the next game I'm going to be predicting is Arsenal versus Brighton, and another fascinating matchup between these two sides who currently are in the top 6 when it comes to the Premier League table. I know Arsenal have been obviously dominant in control of games, have been in exceptional form when it comes to the domestic sphere and when it comes to Europe as well. However, they cannot underestimate Brighton. They have been scoring goals for fun recently, 7 in their last 2 games. And Brighton have good fortune when they come to North London, beating both Spurs and Arsenal last year away from home at the Emirates. So Mikel Arteta cannot take Brighton lightly. It will be interesting to see how Arteta mixes up his side. I think he'll favour what he usually does when it comes to the Europa League. He'll mix the squad players with the established core members of the starting 11. He'll bring in players like Tomiyasu, Tierney to occupy the fullback positions, I believe. Obviously, Elneny needs some game time, so I think he will play potentially instead of Partey. But I feel like the core members, the ones who have been so important for them getting success this season, of Saliba, Xhaka and Jesus, they will be the constant ones who will make sure they're in the side, who obviously are the fundamental players which are to Arsenal's success. Maybe Reece Nelson will come in and replace Saka because he had a great game against Nottingham Forest. So I feel like Arsenal have a lot of options to play with, even if Emil Smith-Rowe and obviously Elneny aren't up to speed when it comes to this match. However, like I said, it is going to be a fascinating matchup. We know Brighton love to score goals. Brighton love to be on the front foot. And under De Zerbi, it still feels like it's Potter ball. He hasn't really changed much. He sees a winning formula. So why are you going to tinker with it? Let the players play. And we know players like McAllister, Trossard, etc. Gross on their day can beat anyone. But that's on their day. And Arsenal, like I've said, have been tremendous this season. A signature win against Liverpool, a signature win against Chelsea on the weekend away from home. Arsenal have too much momentum, and I think it's going to be too much for Brighton to handle to try and win this game. Arsenal have been moving the ball with speed and intensity. It just feels like everyone knows their role within the squad, their starting 11, when it comes to picking up pockets of space to really hurt the opposition. And when Brighton faced top oppositions this season, look at the game against Manchester City conceding 3, even the game against Liverpool conceding 3, and we even saw against Wolves, who we know never really score goals, they conceded 2 goals against them. So I think Arsenal will be fairly comfortable in this game, and we have seen them scrape wins even when they don't have the best on 11 in Europe. So I'm going to be predicting a 2-1 victory for the home side, the Gunners, at the Emirates Stadium. So the next game I'm going to be predicting is Manchester United versus Aston Villa, and this has the potential to be the best midweek game this week. This is because Manchester United players and the fans will be seeking revenge for the horrendous performance on the weekend to Aston Villa, losing 3-1 at Villa Park. We know Ten Hag, we know these other players like Lisandro Martinez, Casemiro, they have the determination, they have the passion, they have the willpower, they have the fight, and they're going to want to put things right in this game against Aston Villa at Old Trafford. The performance was despicable. So Aston Villa, I feel like you have to be a little bit worried, even though it feels like you do have a winning formula to break down Manchester United, because Manchester United will be ready for you. They will tinker with the strengths that Aston Villa do have at their disposal, and they'll make sure that they are better planned in this game at Old Trafford. I feel like Unai Emery will be more defensively cautious because he understands the nature of the game. He understands that Manchester United are going to have much more of the ball, especially since Bruno Fernandes is going to be back from suspension in the last game. So he's going to be much more of a threat because he doesn't wear an invisible cloak like Donny van der Beek, like we saw in the game against Aston Villa. He's actually going to be demanding the ball in the pockets of space, trying to create opportunities, even if he's wasteful with the ball. But that's what you want. You want confident players trying to make a mark and a stamp on the game. And I think Bruno Fernandes is going to change the complexion on this fixture. Also, Casemiro protecting the back four, being more cautious because he understands that Varane's not there and Lindelof or Maguire are susceptible to tricky, pacey wingers like Bailly. And I think Ten Hag has to understand straight away that Rashford, his best position is not on the right. He's so ineffective there. To see him on his much more favoured left-hand side, I think he's going to be much more of a threat. I think Martial has a good chance of starting the game as well in replace of Ronaldo, because Ronaldo hasn't been in good form either. And we know Ten Hag, we saw in the Europa League, we see it in the Premier League. He doesn't really like to heavily rotate. He likes to keep his core players within their side. He doesn't really like giving youngsters a run around because he really wants to win every game. And I think that mindset, that attitude is going to be the forefront of this game and why I think Aston Villa will lose. Unai Emery is a tactician when it comes to knockout football. He understands how to make adjustments, how to neutralise the opposition like we saw on the Villarreal, Arsenal and Sevilla. But I just think it's too much to ask for, and the too much determination that Manchester United players will have in this game is going to be the reason why they win. I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory at Old Trafford against Aston Villa. So the next game I'm going to be predicting is Nottingham Forest versus Tottenham Hotspur. And going into this game, it's going to be fairly interesting to see how Tottenham line up. This is because Tottenham Hotspur have had major injuries going forward. Son has been out, Kulusevski has been out, Richarlison has been out. It just feels like Harry Kane has been up forward by himself, trying to fend for himself, trying to create opportunities and score goals out of nothing. We saw in the game against Liverpool, they were pretty much ineffective until Kulusevski and Lucas came on, and it's going to be a major worry if Lucas and Kulusevski are not fit enough to start this game against Nottingham Forest, because we know Nottingham Forest are going to frustrate Spurs, sit back in their low block and pounce whenever they have the opportunity on the counter-attack. Perisic is not good enough going forward. Sessegnon is not naturally a left winger, is he? So Spurs are not going to have the options to really hurt Nottingham Forest. So I don't know how they're going to win this game. However, there are some positive signs going into this game for Tottenham because Kulusevski did come on and Lucas in the game against Liverpool around the 70th minute. So hopefully they're going to be match fit to start the game against Nottingham Forest, and potentially, obviously, they can support Harry Kane, take some of the pressure and the load off him so they can win this game quite comfortably. I can't see Antonio Conte heavily rotating in this game against Nottingham Forest because he understands that to become a Tottenham legend, you have to win a trophy. And what better opportunity to win a trophy than the Carabao Cup, having a favourable draw against Nottingham Forest, who you've already beaten this season. We know Antonio Conte loves cup competitions, winning the FA Cup for Chelsea, winning some Italian Cups for Inter Milan as well. So surely he will start his strongest 11 in this game against Nottingham Forest. I think Spurs will edge it. They don't have enough going forward, potentially, even if Kulusevski and Lucas start, because they're not match sharp. But I'm going to be predicting a 1-0 steady Eddie victory for Spurs away from home against Nottingham Forest. So the last game I'm going to be predicting is Liverpool versus Derby. I know you're thinking, this should be easy peasy. Liverpool have beaten Napoli, who have not lost to any other team this season. Liverpool have beaten Manchester City, who have not lost to any other team this season. Liverpool have beaten Tottenham Hotspur this season as well. Surely Derby, League One, fighting for the playoffs, can't even get into the top 6. That should be an easy victory. We should stroll into the Anfield and win in the first 30-40 minutes or so. However, for Liverpool, football doesn't work like that. We lost against Leeds at home. We also lost to other atrocious teams which we should not be losing to, like Nottingham Forest away from home. So anything can happen. We have lack of respect for oppositions that if we walk into a stadium, we're going to be winning easy. And that's why we've been struggling against the lesser sides in the Premier League, and potentially why we should be struggling in this game against Derby. However, I do think Klopp will make massive changes to the starting 11, which will give other players a chance to crack into the first team if they perform well. So that will remove any sense of complacency. Players like Milner, players like Gomez, players like Chamberlain on the brink of potentially starting 11. This is their opportunity and they must seize it with their hands if they want any chance of playing more football in the new year. I feel like players like Carvalho, this is a great opportunity for him because we know he's so talented. Ever since last season in Fulham shirt, he was creating so many chances for Mitrovic, but we have not seen it in the Liverpool shirt. This is a great opportunity. Show your trickery, show your magic, show your Coutinho-like in the pockets of space, beating players, playing reverse passes, creating chances, and I feel like he's going to be the main source, the main man we're going to be playing through in this game against Derby, and it should be a straightforward victory. Derby themselves have been in iffy form recently, and I just can't see them winning this game against Liverpool, who you know have a superb record at Anfield with fans. I'm going to be predicting a straightforward victory, 3-1 for the home side, Liverpool FC.